host of the Gridiron.
Got two Giant rookies on a historic pace, which is nice to see. I mean, because this is something that's really, really going to, help the Giants big time, right? Trying to turn the season around, right? And going forward here, obviously this draft coming up, this is going to wind up being huge. I mean, this is really, really huge. We had a nice draft, really, really nice, solid draft, right? I mean, Tracy is, obviously, he had a couple real good games and all that, but I mean, obviously the past few games. But I mean, I said, look at our offensive line. I said, who's on the offensive? I mean, we had the other week we had Schmitz, right? He was out. Had Slide Van Roten in there. Runyon was injured. We had our 37 string tackles on both sides. The center got injured. Had to slide a guard over to him. The other guard, Runyon, he was injured. Then we had to put somebody else. It's unbelievable. I mean, you wonder why the quarterbacks are getting hurt and wonder why we can't run the ball. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable why we can't stay healthy every year, every freaking year, while other teams, have far fewer injuries than the Giants. It's not even close, some of these teams. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. But a couple of these, obviously we know one of them is good old Malik. But I mean, I said this here is going to be, a very, give us another good draft because, as I said, right. I mean, if we got a good offensive line, we've seen what Tracy can do. Right, he can be our starting running back. I'm not saying he's going to be Henry. I'm not saying he's Saquon. Some of the upper echelons, but the guy can be okay. I mean, I would like to see us maybe replace Gray, because I mean, if Gray's our third stringer, okay, but the guy can't return kicks. He can't return punts. I mean, it's like, so maybe we can get another nice running back. I mean, we got Tracy in the 5th round. We get another guy like Tracy in the 4th or 5th round. Right, we have Singletary, another running back, and Tracy. Okay, right. But I said, the draft we just had, obviously with Malik and Phillips and Newman and Theo Johnson and Tracy, it was Sal, right? I mean, he had 8 tackles, right, and on defense, and then he obviously always contributes on special teams, and he's healthy, right? So I mean, it was a very, very, and we only had 6 picks. Very good draft. But quite possibly this season here, possibly coming up, we might get a compensatory pick, maybe in the 4th round, right? So we can get a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, maybe 2 4ths. I mean, so you're looking at, I mean, especially if we're picking like 1st or 2nd. So you figure our 4th round pick, we might have 5 picks in the top 100. Well, the compensatory pick would be back of the 4th. But you figure our first 4 picks could be picks in the top 100. Right? 4 to top 100, I said, and then if I said we pick up another Tracy in the 5th round, something like that, right? Add another 4 so pieces to the puzzle here. And then we should have some money to spend too, to bring in maybe a couple good free agents to help. So this is a big, they're all big, don't get me wrong. It's not like any one who's bigger than the other, but it's a big offseason here for the Giants. But there's some holes, there's some chinks in the armor to maybe Shane's first couple draft classes, but there's no doubt this one right here really, the 2024 draft class for Shane really, really did good, right? Really did good. But once again, this is going to be a huge one coming up here. Huge one. He's going to have to knock it out of the park again. So 2 New York Giant rookies are on a historic pace. Malik Nabers and Tyrone Tracy are players to feel good about. Well, I said all of them. I mean, I said, you freaking look at Theo Johnson, right? I mean, I don't know what the rookie record is for receiving tight ends. I forgot what Tucker had in 70. I can't remember what Bavaro had. I don't remember. But, he went up with 29 receptions. He missed them. He's going to miss I think like the last 5 games or so, or whatever it is of the season, right? And the first 4 games of the season, he only had 3 receptions, right? So he wasn't used at all in the first 4 games, right? But he came on. I mean, if he played the rest of the season, he was on his way to catching 40, 45 passes, which is not bad. Not bad at all. And I said, Nubin was leading the team in tackles. Phillips, of course, he got injured, unfortunately. I mean, he seems like the real deal. I mean, really good pick there. So, I mean, there's a lot of good picks here in this draft to really feel good about. You add these players, these top 5 players to the rest of the roster here. Once again, I hate. I don't want to sound too optimistic, but we got some players. We certainly got some players. But I said this offseason is going to be huge, and obviously one of them is also getting a quarterback. Now, whether it's somebody in the draft or whether it's getting a bridge quarterback, right? Because I mean, if we want to pass on a quarterback at the top, and say we take like Milroe in the second round, or one of those other guys in the second round, something like that, or whatever, we take like Hunter. Now, imagine because he's like, a lot of people say he's like the best athlete in the draft. Imagine pairing Hunter with Malik Nabers. Ooh, that could be scary. That could be really scary. Oh, there you go. Winning begins with it. Yep. And you can't get a win. It's tough to get a winning attitude if you ain't winning football games. Let me tell you what, boy. It's tough to have a winning attitude with the Giants. That's some tough stuff, man. So just to find out this article here, if you're looking for bright spots in a miserable 2-11 season for the Giants, one has to be the production of rookies Malik Nabers and Tyrone Tracy. I said, Theo Johnson, Nubin, and Phillips. I mean, those guys did a very good job. Nabers, the wide receiver, drafted number 6 overall to be the team's number 1 receiving option, and Tracy drafted in the 5th round to try and replace some of the production lost by Saquon, right? Have had excellent rookie seasons. Nabers leads the Giants with 80 catches, 819 yards and 3 touchdown receptions. Now, he's trying his final 4 games, obviously, was at 181 yards he needs in 4 games. He needs 45 yards a game, the average, in the final to get 1,000 yards. I mean, he's on pace. If he can catch 5 catches a game, what's possible? That would give him 100 receptions for maybe 1,000 yards. That would be a phenomenal rookie season for him. With this dumpster fire of an offense, man. Tracy's first on the team with 141 rushing attempts, 664 yards, and 5 scores, despite getting only 12 carries over the season's first 4 games. The Giants are the first NFL team to have rookies lead in all of those statistical categories since 2014, when Giants rookies Odell Beckham, Andre Williams accomplished that feat. Beckham topped the Giants that season with 91 catches for 1,305 yards and 12 touchdowns, all franchise rookie records. He did that despite missing the first 4 games with a hamstring injury. I remember that. Williams, a 4th-round draft choice from Boston College, had team-leading totals of 217 carries, 721 yards, and 7 rushing touchdowns. The Giants are averaging an NFL worst 14.9 points per game, and despite their production, is likely true that they have not gotten as much out of Nabers and Tracy as they're both capable. Oh, absolutely not. Nabers scored 35 passes in the first 4 games, twice reaching double-digit receptions. He has only 45 receptions in the last 7 games. In those first 4 games, he had 200-yard receiving games. His highest total since was the 79 receiving yards he had against the Saints. Tracy had 300-yard games in his first 6 as the Giants' primary ball carrier, but it's just 119 yards on 34 carries in the last 3 games. Both, though, are building blocks to be excited about. Well, once again, I mean, I said you look at with Tracy winning. That's a great yards catch too. Yeah. Yep. But you look at the last 3 weeks. I mean, he hasn't gotten a lot of yards, obviously. But I said, look at the offensive line, right? We had Jones in there, then we had DeVito in there, then we have Locke in there. Now we got Tommy DeVito going back in. It's like you get It's like rotating quarterbacks in there. I said the offensive line. Illuminor and Thomas, boom, gone. Then you put, you got what, Hubbard in or Neal in there or Zudu in there. It's they're constantly rotating in and out due to injuries and all. It's like, I said, now Runyon's out. He may not be in there. I said, Michael Schmidt's got hurt. He had to come out of the game. We had to slide Van Roten over here to say, it's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, right? The offensive line, quarterbacks, and you're averaging under 15 points per game. You don't have the ball that long. When you do have the ball, a lot of times it's 3 and out. I mean, you start going back, you start looking at a lot of the drives the Giants have had over the past, couple weeks. It's like 3 plays, 4 plays, 3 plays. It's like, I mean, it was this past week when they against the Saints. I mean, they had the ball like around midfield. I was at 4 times or so, right around. And they started, and they got like I think 3 points out of it. I mean, they just can't move the ball. Some of that, obviously, I said, is a quarterback, but a lot of it's the offensive line. These quarterbacks are getting injured. Right, they're getting pummeled. They're running for their lives. They're getting hit, constantly getting hit. The offensive line. The guys that are in there, maybe obviously they're trying, but they're not. They haven't played together. You need you got guys. Gotta get guys in there who've been played together, which really, really helps. And it's just not happening. You got guys coming off of practice squads going in there, and you just hope and pray that maybe next season, when next season rolls around, we can start the season healthy and we can stay relatively healthy. Just as I've said this a trillion times, nothing cuts your season shorter faster than injuries. And once again, the New York Giants are right at the top. I'm not sure how many games have been lost due to injury. I used to have a subscription to maingameslost.com. And to show you, but that was like a yearly subscription, and I had it for 1 year. I think I had it 2 years ago. I haven't had it in a couple of years, but I remember the 1 year I had it. I mean, the Giants were just way up there as far as injuries. I mean, just amazing how many games were lost due to injuries, and just totally wipes the Giants' seasons out almost every year. Maybe one of these years, the New York Football Giants will actually have injuries happen to every team, of course, but I mean, to have somebody get injured, but then have them come back a week or 2 later or something. I mean, the Giants seem to get these injuries and the guys going on IR. It just once again, another reason why the Giants are a laughing stock of the league. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 23 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants.